Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it is a bird. It's the Quirky Bird Show with your host, Robin Savage.
Welcome to the Quirky Bird Show on the artsradio.com, where we talk about all things quirky in the comedic world of arts. I think is your headset a little loud?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Maybe I'm just super...
I'm deaf. Don't go by me.
I'm your hostess, Robin Savage, and today we are going to be talking about comedy contests. And my co-host, my gal riding shotgun is Long Island Mary. You were a finalist in Florida's Funniest Contest last year, weren't you?
I was, and we're riding shotgun in a car in England because you're on the wrong side of the road.
I guess you're right.
Riding shotgun.
Starsky to my hutch, Punch to my John. You are my guest co-host for today.
I'm Laverne.
You're Laverne, I'm Shirley. We also have, since we are talking about comedy contests, we also have Kent Perry, who's a good friend of yours, we're going to be calling him, as well as we have Randy Singer. He's going to do a comedy contest in the South Florida region.
I'm excited because contests in Florida are big. And apparently I need to clear my throat. You know what else is big in Florida? Phlegm.
Phlegm's very big. Well, you have watched my show, so you know I always open it up with the quirky question of the day.
Yes, you do.
I do. So today's quirky question of the day, wish we had a drum roll, or cough, is, since comedy is subjective, what is the most objective way to judge a competition? Since you are my co-host, I will let you answer that first.
I'm excited to have this opportunity. First of all, thank you for letting me be the co-host on the show today. It's like a
good
debate.
Stuff, good
they always
times.
thank the station. I feel when it comes to a contest, there are a lot of different ways to look at it, but I believe percentages are the fairest way. I think Jackie Knight, in her response, nailed it pretty well. 30%-ish for material and stage presence, and 40% for the audience, and 30%, well, I guess, 30% material and originality, 30%, see, I'm going, it's not 100, it's 30, 30, and 40.
I was like, aren't you an accountant in your real life?
I'm a junior accountant.
I'm a junior accountant. That's why I don't get the percentages right,
No,
for
I
God's
get it
sakes.
right. No, it's 30% originality and material, 30% for stage presence and stage mechanics knowledge, and 40% with connection and audience reaction. So I believe you have to give the audience their due because they're there. Even if it's a show where comedians might bring their friends, you still have people there who are objective, and you want to go by the audience reaction.
It is, and I will get to the other responses. It's just I know that is one way to run a contest, is just to say simply who gets the most applause at the end. And I don't know that necessarily that's the best way, because sometimes it's often who brings the most people. And sometimes in comedy, who brings the most people is the person who hasn't been doing comedy that long.
Yes, because their friends are not sick of them yet.
I was going to say.
And their mom is mobile.
It's one thing to have a following, but if it's your mom is mobile.
Even if mom's not mobile, she's coming to the show.
Long Island Mary, for those of you who don't know her, I don't want to say your shtick, but a good part of your show is about living with your 87-year-old.
30, and 40% of it.
We have the percentages worked out.
Yeah, mom's a big part of my act.
She
And as
is.
I've been saying for years, she can't die because then I have to write a whole new set.
Yeah.
That seems insensitive. But
Well,
it's a joke.
We'll just run through the quirky question of the day, because I always do tell people I will give them a shout out on air, and plus it's always kind of interesting to hear people's take on it.
Absolutely.
Gid Poole said he was going to call in, so if you want to call in, Gid, the number is 727-597-4022. Actually, not just Gid. I'm putting it out to anyone. Maureen Sullivan, she has a station or a radio show on Health Info Radio, which is a sister station of the artsradio.com. And she said, excellent question. The winner of a comedy contest is a comedian who connects with the audience, gets positive feedback after their set, and is proud of their work. I dislike contests because comedy is an art, and much like art, there can be many winners. To tell anyone they won a contest means they are better than everyone else, which is often not true.
No, that's true.
Yeah, the minute you gather the courage to step on stage, bare your heart and your soul, you give 110% to the audience, you are already a winner. That is brilliant. Maureen just wrote a book, so because she writes things like that.
She's smart.
She is.
She's smart, and that's very fair. It's a really nice way to look at it.
It is.
It's very diplomatic, and it's true. It is an art, and we do get beat down in a lot of areas. So maybe in contests we can try to make it more fair. Do you notice I don't have an accent when I'm on the radio?
You do. You're very NPR.
I am.
Hey, yeah, good times.
Good times.
Sweaty balls. Krishna Reddy, he said, I like the idea of the crowd choosing their top three because that prevents someone who brought a lot of people from winning. If it's graded based on judges, crowd response has to be considered number one, followed by originality as a tiebreaker. Those obviously don't mean the best comics will win, but it'll be the closest you can get to a level playing field. Okay. So Krishna's kind of like you. He kind of wants to sever things out.
Yeah, I think I've seen that in a few contests I've been in, and it made me feel a little bit better.
And I've seen a couple contests where they say pick your top one or two, or and sometimes it's even three.
Yes.
And so you're always going to pick your guy, like the person you came for. But sometimes if the number two person is actually the right winner, because you're picking like, okay, I'm going to pick my nephew because I came out to see him, but then I'm also going to pick the guy who's actually funny.
You have to make it fair.
You do.
You're forced to vote for someone else.
You do.
I like that. I've seen that at several different venues.
Couple more shouts out. Alicia Cooper, who is actually in a contest tonight, she wrote Pick Your Cousin. So Alicia, she's in New York doing the Ladies of Laughter competition. In fact, Peggy Boyd has called in before, and hopefully she'll call in a couple weeks and let us know how that contest is doing.
That looks exciting. It's nice that there is a female-only contest. Nothing against the boys, but it's nice when the ladies support each other. I've always been a fan of that.
Well, in this particular contest, I had Peggy Boyd on here, and it's in kind of an homage, sort of like her friend, a comedian, passed away, and so she's doing this in honor. So there's a lot of love in this contest. So that's and I think they really sweeten the pot. That's also another thing I wanted to talk about. I'll do a couple more things, and like what's the contest for? If the contest is for a couple $100. But if it's for lots of paid gigs,
if you're getting months and months of work, it's really something you want to get into.
Yeah, and I think the higher it gets, the fairer you want to be.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to, give someone 40 weeks of work who's, did bring their frat house.
Absolutely. I know we can speak to that because we know some things.
Just a couple more. Alvin Harmoning. I think jokes are always a part of life. It's a reflection of life, even if it's made up. So the best way to be objective is to live life the best way you can. Maybe a little Buddhist practice. Alvin, you are getting deep on us.
Was he talking about comedy contests or just life?
I think he was talking about comedy in general. I'll read his very last line. To quote a line from The Powerful Warrior, there is never nothing going on. Deep thoughts, Alvin Harmoning.
What does that mean?
I don't know. We have to think about it
later. Like no matter where you go, there you are.
There you are. You're like you're like the big red spot on the mall map.
You are here.
Jackie Knight, one of my favorite people, she said, as a club owner, I would say a response from the audience and not just comic friends, confidence material, but with her, it's something special that wins a contest. It's probably, I think she's talking about that id factor, like you just see it. And then finally, Charlotte Cakes, my buddy. She said, "I don't know, but I'm a fan." I don't know, but I'm a fan of the show. She said, "Hey, Bird Pants and Lim Lim." So, hey, Shar Shar, I got to think of a name for her.
Shar Shar's it. That's all we got.
Shar.
Lim Lim?
Lim Lim.
All right.
Lim Lim and Bird Pants.
I like it.
So, oh, God. Okay.
Yeah, that's dramatic.
That is. I don't know if you guys could see because we have such a great high-def camera, but everything just sort of went wonky.
Maybe it was us having seizures. Maybe no one saw that. I don't know. I feel okay.
Maybe it was the comedy gods, like saying, don't talk about comedy contests.
Oh, you snappers on Saturday night. I was doing a lot of Catholic material, and there was a lot of thunder. I love when that happens. I love when that happens.
Yeah, the sky was black. I don't. Maybe you were already in Snappers before you saw the black sky. So
I digress, though. Back to the contest.
now, so you won a pretty big contest. This was last year. It was the first annual Florida's Funniest Contest, and you were the top 2 in the Sarasota division.
Yes, it was very exciting. They had, I believe, I want to say 14 different contests in cities, major cities in Florida, from Fort Lauderdale to Miami to Jacksonville, Key West, Sarasota, Tampa, and I was able to compete in the Sarasota contest in my home club, McCurdy's Comedy Theater.
Shout out! Woo woo! What are we doing?
I don't know why we're doing that. And I got to play there, and I was. I had a really good set. I'm not going to downplay it. I was awesome. And
Awesome.
I was awesome. And the judges were the club owners who were running the show. It was, I wouldn't name all the judges because for each region in each state, in each club, they had 3 or 4 judges. And I won, and also Jeanette Rizzi won. She's originally from Florida, now living out in L.A., doing a one-woman show. She's really moving up. She's fun. So we won together, and then we went to the West Coast Regional Finals, which were also at McCurdy's.
West Coast represent. Isn't that the W sign?
I'm not down with the street cred. I do it wrong.
I was gonna do the gang sign, but then my arthritis.
Arthritis.
So I'm sorry. So West Coast was actually here in Tampa, correct?
No, it was going to be at the Tampa Improv, but lo and behold, it ended up back at McCurdy's Comedy Theater, and all the Tampa kids had to drive down to Sarasota, and they had to go over the bridge. It was wonderful. Yeah, well, we had folks from Orlando, Naples, Ocala, other towns all compete, and that was an interesting event. I did not move forward in that one, but that was the one where Ken Miller and Ron Hortman moved forward, which was awesome.
Okay.
And then they competed against 2 other fellas in the big finals, the East Coast winners, and ultimately Eric Myers was the winner. I think John Wynn was the 4th competitor, the other East Coast fella. But Eric Myers won. He won weeks and weeks of work.
When are you going to want to do the phone call?
8:50.
8:50?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Beamer.
I don't know that they heard that, but we're doing all this weird radio stuff. Yes, Eric Myers did win, and that's one of the comedy contests that it's not just like a contest and like, oh, remember when, like he's working under that title for it.
He has the title of Florida's Funniest Comedian, the first winner. And he's using that, and he's doing all kinds of things. He's even setting up shows now and inviting other comedians to open with him, opening it up to provide stage time to other comedians. I saw it today. It was on Hot Comics, I think Miami.
Yeah.
.com.
I think he's even doing something at Side Splitters. I think they have like Tom Arnold one weekend, and so sometimes when you get like the really big big names, they're not going to do like a Thursday through Sunday. They might just do like a couple of nights and that's it. But they get such a draw. The clubs will work around them. So I think that's what they're doing. They're going to be the Thursday of the Tom Arnold, like
weekend.
Friday, weekend.
Okay.
So
he's really making it happen. For him, it really paid off, and I think it paid off for a lot of us because I was able to, for instance, take the tape from the winning show in Sarasota and use that to submit in other contests. I've used that credit. I'm going to continue to use that credit. So I was the Sarasota division winner with Jeanette Rizzi. Sarasota division winner. Co-winner? I don't know.
You'll be in the walker. I was the 2011 Sarasota winner.
Glory Days playing in the background. You should have seen it. My mother was there. 147 people. No, it wasn't 147. I believe they said it was about 160 people.
Okay.
Came just from. It was about bringing my people. I live there. I work there. I know people. People came out and supported. It was fun.
But do you feel? I mean, it sounds like you had a good deal of people. But do you feel that's the only reason, or do you feel like you had just a sensational set that night that led you to in the judges to name you, Grand Poobah of the evening?
Oh, Grand Poobah.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that for the Sarasota division, I felt I deserved it, but I was really pumped up. There was so much energy coming back. It would have been hard for me to fail. I could have pretty much dived into the crowd. It was one of those sets, and it was only 5 minutes. When we did the second one, I had a lot of people in the audience, but I didn't feel it was as strong a set, and I was competing against the winners of all the other divisions, and they were very strong comedians doing it longer than me. Some of them were doing it longer. And what was also nice to see, there were a few women in each of the contests, which was nice. But yeah, no, I definitely felt it was fairly judged. I felt good about it, and what I got out of it, what I wanted. And I'm lucky enough this year that I'm going to get to host the Sarasota division. I'm going to return.
She's returning. She's
to
returning. Not competing, but returning.
I'm not
Like
competing.
I'm trying to think of an analogy that it would be like when see, I'm so bad with pop culture. Like when the black guy became Rocky's coach.
Apollo Creed?
Apollo Creed.
Wow, okay.
You're like Apollo Creed. You're the Apollo Creed. You know, you had your
Yeah.
time in the ring. You did great, but now you're coming back.
I think I'm more like Bert. I'm more like the drunk brother-in-law. I don't know how I'd ever win. What about me, Rocky? I get nothing. I don't know. Rocky. You probably want to move on. But that was a fun contest.
No, we actually, in about 5 minutes, we're going to call Kent Perry. And speaking of contest, he has a smaller contest going on in the Sarasota area that you have helped been a part of. Now, that's a smaller contest. I mean, it's more of like the winner gets, a bar tab and then comes back the next day. So, I mean, that is one thing with comedy. You've got a barrage of contests. And I know a lot of, I know a lot of the open mics do the contest, and sometimes, and that also depends. I mean, sometimes it chums up the interest and people come in. I've gone to contests where you've gotten like 20 people doing a contest, which I feel is a little not fair to some people watching.
Too many.
It's too many.
Well, it's hard on the audience.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say to the people watching.
90 minutes.
Yeah.
90 minutes. It's hard. I enjoy Kent Perry's show that he's put together at Evie's on University in Whitfield in Sarasota because he feels 90 minutes is the way to do it. He's trying to bring a good cross-section of comedians. He wants to add more comedians from out of the area. He doesn't want to repeat the same show every time.
Exactly.
He's letting me host it because he's a kind fella. He thinks... What's funny to me is that he thought my name brought some gravitas to the event. I said, honey, I'm not bringing nothing. There's no gravitas.
We use big words here on the Quirky Bird Show.
They knew what
Gravitas.
Saturday show at Snappers, no one knew what rapport meant.
Oh.
Sorry, Palm Harbor. You're not as smart as you look.
Well, it's got two P's and the T silent. So, I mean, really,
Well, that would be why. No, but Kent is doing a great job putting together a little contest. There's a bar tab. The winner comes back the next month, like you said. We're able to do guest spots with other touring comedians so they can come in. Mm-hmm. And if I can get any closer to this microphone, I think I'm making out with this microphone. I'm going to move back.
Reunited. Also, we have Randy Singer. He has an interesting. I'm looking forward to talking to him. He has an interesting contest because it's he's going a little bit more viral with it. Usually, like most contests are sort of like a one-night stand, like, show me what you got best tonight. But his is more of a long-term relationship. Like once you get in and you win at a certain point, it's almost like American Idol. Like you have people vote for you, like your videos. Like you go online and people vote for your videos.
I think that's a wonderful way to do it because you can call out your following nationwide, worldwide if you want to.
That's what I was going to say. I think that's the difference between just bringing your friends to the show and having like a true following. So, you know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
If you're to the point where you do have a following, and especially when you start going other places and people are like, oh yeah, we're Facebook friends. I remember her. She was, at the Laugh Hut 6 months ago. I'm going to vote for her. So that's
who books the Laugh Hut? 'Cause I'd like to get a weekend there.
The Laugh Hut is very, very exclusive. You got to know people.
All right. But it's true. Having people vote for you online, it's got a lot of potential. I mean, you remember last year, I think it was, Catherine Maloney won the Biggest Jerk contest.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And that was with people voting. And because she's not a jerk, but she won. But that's a nice credit.
Can I go ahead and call him?
And,
Good stuff. Good stuff.
We keep, we just keep trying, keep plugging away.
It does. It does. Catherine Maloney, speaking of Catherine Maloney, if you're watching, we're plugging you quite a bit. The Ladies of Laughter that we were talking about, Peggy Boyce is producing, she is going to be, I believe, in the August 1st one.
She's in the August 1st one. Yeah, there's one tonight. There's one on, I believe, Friday, the 27th. And then Catherine's going to be in the August 1st one. Then the finals are August 15th.
Yeah.
All different clubs in New York.
I was going to say, the finals at Gotham. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think you can get any, higher of a club than Gotham.
No, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed for Catherine. She doesn't need it. She's hysterical.
She is. She's like 98 pounds of spunk.
And Pitbull.
And Pitbull. Oh,
Hello.
hey, Kent. Is he on the air? Okay. Hey, Kent. This is Robin. How are you doing?
I'm good. That was quicker than I expected to be on the air. How are you?
That was super quick. You are on the QuirkyBirdShow.com. Well, no, it's not .com. You're on the Quirky Bird Show, Kent. I don't know if you were listening or if your ears were ringing, but we were talking a lot about you.
Because you're cute.
I actually did hear that, yes.
Now, Kent, how long have you been doing comedy?
About 3 years.
Okay.
Oh, he's got some previous experience, though. You might want to mention.
I was going to say, but because you have a very nice voice. You have a very nice voice. Have you ever used your voice other than comedy?
I think you know the answer to that. I actually started in radio when I was 11 years old. My dad ran the NPR station in my hometown, and there was an American public radio show called Kids America. They needed a local voice, and somehow I was chosen. I'm sure it wasn't nepotism.
No, you had the best voice of all kids around.
I'm sure I did. It was a nice little southern accent that seems to have disappeared the more I've done professional voice kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's no accent.
Yeah. Where did you grow up at, Kent?
Pensacola.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're actually back home right now then.
I am, yeah. I'm up visiting Mom. I was actually planning to head over to Mobile tonight and hit an open mic, but when you called, I decided you'd be more fun. So.
Oh, that was a mistake.
It was.
You turned away stage time to be on the Quirky Bird Show. Nothing personal, Robin. But we all know, right? The Holy Grail is stage time.
The Holy Grail is stage time. Well, maybe we can get on and off because it's what 7:51 there, and you can hit the stage.
Well, we'll see if that happens. Probably not, but I did hear you talking about 90-minute shows earlier. And the theory here seems to be that everyone should get as much time as they want. So it may have been a 6-hour experience I was setting myself up for.
Oh.
So maybe you saved me.
Yeah, because that's rough.
It is rough, and what I find with these really long shows is sometimes people who've never gone to comedy shows may never come back because they're like, I didn't realize it was an all-night marathon. But if you have it in nice little nuggets, like a nice little 90-minute nugget, and you have you switch up different people, it gets to be less daunting.
Oh, yeah, because every show turns into a G. David Howard show.
I'm hosting a show in Pensacola on Friday night, and I kind of had to, having hosted it once before and had it go almost 3 hours, really explain that I'm done at 90 minutes. So I hope the show goes well after that if we're not finished, because I might give them 95, but not 3 hours again.
3 hours, yeah, that's a long time for a comedy show.
They sell a lot of booze, though, so they have.
People are just sleeping on the bar, like no more.
I think Robin's got it right. They were asleep.
They were already hungover.
It's like eating your favorite food. Like I love tacos. Like I could guacamole. I could just eat it. But after like 3 hours of eating tacos, you're like, I am gonna vomit. And so I think that sometimes
Speak
happens
for yourself, amateur.
Amateur. So how did Evie's come about? Evie's, sorry.
Evie's. It was. How did it come about? Actually, my best friend in comedy is Gene Stashevsky, who I know both of you have met. And Gene had a friend who was friends with the manager at Evie's and had mentioned to him that I hosted another open mic, and he wanted to know, if we could come in and talk about it. And so the original plan was just for it to be a once-a-month open mic, and then he said, he was concerned about quality if it were an open mic and not hand-selected, to which I said, well, if you want to get some better comedians, then maybe we need to make it a contest. And so he was willing to put up a $50 gift card, which we've, after a couple of run-throughs, we've actually changed that to be $35 gift card to the winner, $15 to second place, and then the top 3 places get to come back the next month to perform again. So that's really where it came from, is him wanting slightly better quality than we could guarantee if it were an open mic, which has open in its name. So that was the genesis of it, essentially. And then for Gravitas, I got Long Island Mary to come host.
I was going to say, how much more gravitas do you need in the Sarasota community?
Well, I bring the volume, but I don't know. There's a few other folks in Sarasota who have a little more gravitas than me. But I'm the flavor of the month.
You're the flavor of the month.
I hope.
So when are your shows? Because you do it once a month, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and when are the shows is an excellent question you've asked. It's been the third Monday of the month, and it's going to be August 20th, which is the third Monday of August. But I was talking to Russell, the manager, this week, and he said, starting in September, we have Monday Night Football, and we're kind of rowdy and have a crowd then, and so that might not be our best night to do it. So we are actually looking at moving it to either Tuesday or Wednesday night, at least for football season, and then seeing where it goes from there. So stay tuned, I guess, the answer to when is it following August.
Follow us all on Facebook and find out when.
I was going to say that's sort of oh gosh, how am I supposed to say this?
You don't want to have it the same night as a show in a club that might be in the region.
Well, I was thinking more like when you're in the situation where Kent is, when you're trying to produce comedy in a non-comedy venue, you really do have to. Things like Monday Night Football, you almost can't compete with. You know what I mean? Like I run
and I don't think I'd want to try. It's great at that venue because Monday night, not exactly the fastest night. They have trivia from 7 to about 8:30 or 8:45. We actually chose Monday because we were hoping that we would be able to hang on to some of that trivia audience and not just have it be comics and their friends in the audience. And that's actually worked out pretty well. We've had probably 15 or 20 trivia folks stage time, which is nice to have some folks who haven't heard your joke 7,000 times. And so that's been great. We're in the back room. They turn off all the TVs. But, I totally understand, do a few $100s worth of business because you're having a comedy show versus do several thousand because everybody's there in the back room with the TVs on watching Monday Night Football.
Yeah, sure.
I understand where he's coming from, but
Yeah.
that's actually why we chose Mondays, is so we could build on that team trivia audience that's before we are.
Don't these business owners know that we are artists, Kent? What's
Yes,
the
but they are
thousands of dollars
businessmen.
in beer? No, I agree.
When you open your club, Robin, you can have shows every
That's
night.
right.
And no TVs.
No TVs.
And no people in the crowd. I'm kidding. No,
Well, I
there'll
hope I
be
get to feature on the first Monday your club is open, Robin.
You
Very good
will.
headline.
Oh, I'm not ready. God bless.
Yeah, in fact, you guys will be my Monday shows in general. Like, come to the Kent and Mary Monday
fantastic.
show.
It'll be fun. But I think we want to thank Kent, don't we, just for putting that show together.
It was really fun. I did not actually
You were there.
compete. I just I did a little guest set while you guys were doing the tally votes, and it was really nice. It was the crowd was respectful. You're right. They had it in the back of the room, so the folks who wanted to watch whatever was on that Monday night, I don't know, pitch and putt, but I don't know what was on that Monday night.
Housewives of Orange County, I
Yeah.
believe, on Bravo, maybe.
But the folks who came there to laugh, and they were being respectful, and the night I went there, it was a good group of people. Actually, Charlotte, who sometimes co-hosts, she came in second place. So
She did.
It
So
was.
she'll be back next month, right, Kent? You can have the top three come back.
She will.
Yeah.
yeah,
She will, and she got a $15 gift card, so she should be able to hook us both up with a beer, Mary.
I was just
think.
going to say, I don't remember her buying us a beer.
I hope the kid doesn't spend it all on
Wait a
one
minute,
night.
I thought I bought your beer.
You know what? I want to thank Kent for that, too. He buys my beer when I'm there. I don't drink and drive, Ma.
Certainly, I also gave her a ride home.
He did.
Or not.
Betsy sat in the trunk.
Well, if I can steer your show back in the direction that it started, which is kind of the what makes a contest fair.
Oh, yes.
When I'm not playing comedian, I'm playing education consultant, so I deal with objectives all day. And I'm not sure how you objectively judge a comedy contest. I think the things that I've tried to do is, one, hang on to as much of that, non-comedians and their friends' audience as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have them vote for 3 places, which I heard you talking about a little earlier on the show, that everybody's going to vote their buddy first place, but then they have to be semi-objective with the folks they don't know about who is funnier. And I think in general, I might have had a switch in place here or there, but in general, I've agreed with the way that our contests have turned out. So I think that helps some, but I really don't think there is a completely objective way to do it.
Well, and I think I'm trying to think of a politically correct way to say this, and I think it also depends on where your heart is and who's putting on the contest. Like if you're looking for a contest to A, entertain the crowd, B, bring comedy to a venue, you're probably going to be a little bit more objective. But if you're looking to find a way to make money and get the most people in, I mean, I really do think it depends on sort of your objective on hosting the contest and your love of comedy. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's my entire objective is essentially to give comics stage time. You know, so I really was approaching this as an open mic, and then he wanted to do it a different way, and so it's been kind of an interesting learning experience for me. I'm getting stage time. I'm also not competing in the contest, but I get to do a little set every month. That's my pay. I'm not taking any money from it. It really is just about stage time and giving Sarasota comics an opportunity to get some stage time.
And if I may, I'm also not getting paid if anyone's listening.
Are his initials potentially LM?
I don't know. But
Change
mine
the
are.
subject. No.
Long Island Mary.
Long Island Mary. I did not get paid, and I didn't even get a beer because I was the designated driver that night. So
boo-hoo.
There you go. I didn't drive Mary home. I arranged a ride for her. See, it all worked out.
You called the cab.
I walked.
Yeah, I walked.
Let's be honest. No, it's all good.
Well, so what's in your future, Kent? Do you have anything to plug? Any shows coming up? Anything coming our way that we can see Kent Perry in action?
Boy, we can just keep it all about contests. I was actually scheduled to be in the McCurdy's contest last week that was canceled.
Oh, that's right.
And I had busted my hump to try to get them to the number of people they needed to have the show. So I actually had who had called McCurdy for tickets, which kind of shocked me that I had that many. And they've said because they canceled the contest, but I had worked so hard, I could have unlimited free tickets to the show. So all of my friends out there, or people who want to pretend to be my friends, can come see me August 16th at McCurdy.
August 16th at McCurdy's.
Now, is that going to be a contest? Are you doing a guest set? What's going on there?
Well, it's an open mic. I will do 7 or 8 minutes. And then we'll take it from there.
That's a lot.
I was going to say.
So yeah, just an open mic, but that's your best opportunity locally to get to see me with some time.
And those out there who don't kind of understand maybe the way some clubs work, 7 to 8 minutes, you've got to be good, and you've got to have shown that you are good to get that in that particular club. They start you out at 3, and you have to prove yourself. So if you're up to 7 or 8, kudos, my friend, you're doing good.
Yes, he really is.
Well,
Kent's really
I
going
appreciate it.
fast. I'm a big fan, Kent. I think you're awesome.
Well, and likewise to both of you.
Thank you.
Do you do any more?
We'll come to Love Fest now. I host the open mic the first Thursday of every month at the Cock and Bull Pub in Sarasota.
Oh, okay.
At 9 o'clock on Kettleman. And actually, way back when, I actually knew them and set that one up and had no idea what I was doing, so I threw it in Mary's lap, and she did a great job getting it up and running along with Jim Shea, and they gave it back to me after it was established. So.
I did it like twice. I showed up twice, and I said, it's far away.
It's
Jim,
far
you
away.
do it. Jim Shea's fun, too. I haven't seen Jim in a long time.
Yeah.
I hope he goes into the Florida's Funniest, because that would be just fun.
Yeah. It's good times. Yeah, you guys have a lot of good comedians down there in Sarasota, and kudos to you, Ken, for kind of keeping the, I don't want to call it the underground, but sort of the working your way up to be a comic and providing stage time, because that's a big deal, especially to folks who love comedy and strive to be comedians.
Yeah, well, and I don't think there's anything more important, but I think that's page 1 of every How to Be a Stand-Up Comic book too, is stage time.
It is.
Kind of the answer. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. Let's see, what else? I'm just reminiscing about in the mid '90s. I was a circus performer, and my juggling partner
I was going to say, where's the circus credits?
We performed on a show called Good Morning Atlanta.
Oh.
And we were in the green room for schleps who were jugglers from the circus. And in the celebrity green room, which is, where I imagine Randy is right now, was Stephen J. Cannell that night. So we didn't get to meet him, but I was on the same show he was on. Morning. It was morning. It was Good Morning Atlanta.
Okay, and for those of you people who don't know who Stephen J. Cannell is, like anyone doesn't, can you refresh our memory?
He was the producer of just about every great TV show if you were a boy growing up in the 80s.
I was not.
The one that comes to mind.
Oh, okay.
He produced darn near everything.
Oh, he was like the
never saw
Shorewood
Darn Near
Schwartz
anything.
of the 80s.
Yes. Yes, with shows at least the quality of Gilligan's Island.
Ooh.
What was Sherwood Schwartz's other big show? I can't remember.
Brady Bunch.
Oh,
What's that?
What's that?
you didn't say what's that.
We are no longer friends as of right now, Kent Perry. What's the Brady
Well, I hope
Bunch?
that's not true.
It's not
Kent,
true.
do you have a web page, or can we find you on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that?
You can. You have to be careful, though, because if you go to kentperry.com or try to follow him on Twitter, he has a tire store in Australia.
Oh,
So
we
you
don't
have
want
to
that.
put the word comic in front of that. It's at Comic Kent Perry or
At comic-
Facebook.com/Comic Kent Perry or ComicKentPerry.com.
Okay. Okay. Well, Kent, thank you so much for coming on. We got Randy Singer coming on afterwards. But you're more than welcome. I love your voice. You're more than welcome to come here in person once you get back to the southern part of Florida.
Would love to do it. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Take care,
Kent.
Kent. See you August 20th.
All right. Okay. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
He's such a nice boy.
He's not a boy. He's a man.
He was a kid in the 80s. He's younger than me. I can
And
call him a boy.
His lady Betsy is delightful, too. She's a lot of fun. She's
Oh.
good people.
She's very good people. Yeah, she's very good people. So, yeah, that was a good time. I did not know that his father did the whole NPR thing.
I didn't know that either. We should
Yeah.
have done our good times for him.
Good times.
Good
Good
times.
times. All right. All right. I think we have our next caller. No,
Cleared my throat for Randy Singer.
Randy Singer. Yeah, we will.
Why don't you do a little intro to who Randy is? He's
Randy is from the South Florida. Randy, are you on the line?
Hey, hello.
Hey, Randy, welcome to the Quirky Bird Show.
Hey, I didn't know I was on so soon. I thought at least I'd get a little warm-up call. But that's okay.
We are nothing but class here at the Quirky Bird Show.
shove him on air.
Just shove them on air. And it's
I
like
can see.
it's like before you go jumping out of an airplane, parachuting. You know, you don't get to dip your toe in the air. They just shove you out of the airplane.
So what you're saying is just before I'm about to jump, you're going to say, oh, yeah, did you pack your shoes?
No tandem jumping here, Randy. You're on your own, buddy.
I can see that.
So, Randy, today we're talking about comedy contests, and you have a pretty big comedy contest going on. What is this your second year doing that?
This is my second year doing this, but this is not a big contest. This is the biggest contest of any comedy club has ever offered any comedian.
Yeah.
What club do you know has offered $5,000 in cash?
None.
$5,000. They could go get it in casino chips. They could get it in cash. For
Or
entering a
dogs.
comedy contest.
Or
Unheard
little dogs.
of.
What? It sounds like you have a puppy in the background.
Yeah, well, he's a little pissed off. I'm on the phone, but that's okay because he can't compete.
Can't compete.
But then again, the dog can't tell a good joke either.
Now last
If
year,
the dog was able to tell a joke, I'd put him in the contest. But his humor is just, it's dry. It's
I'd
dry.
vote for him. I'd vote for him in a second.
do they have any good pot jokes? That's what that dog needs. No, last year you had Paula Poundstone doing the grand finale, correct?
Correct. Well, yeah, what it is not only are we giving away $5,000 to the comedian that wins this contest, and it's open to any comedian, that comedian gets to open for our final show. Last year was Paula Poundstone. This year it's Caroline Ray from Biggest Loser and many, many TV credits.
Sabrina the Teenage
She's
Witch.
a very talented comedian.
Yes.
Oh.
Love her.
Okay.
So the comedian that wins there's going to be 2,000 to 3,000 people in the audience that night.
Wow.
So it's an opportunity to not only compete in the contest and take home $5,000, but to open a show in front of a large audience.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean,
That's an opportunity you don't get. I mean, I'm in it 4 years. I haven't had I'm nowhere near that. So
no.
just
I've
that
probably done
opportunity.
300 or
No.
400, but not.
Not
I've
even
never done it in the thousands.
That's why we're all doing it this year.
No,
Randy.
no. Oh, good. Because I'd like to see some West Coast talent come down here. It's time that you guys make your mark.
Now, we were talking earlier in the show. I sort of explained it like a lot of comedy contests are just that night. Like you go there, who's the best one that night. But you kind of have yours in different levels. Like you have to audition, you have the contest, and then you have like afterwards people voting online.
Well, let me just explain to you. What it is the open auditions is so that we can make sure that you have talent. We're just not going to put anybody in front of a live audience.
Mm-hmm.
At that audition, we're going to take 40 comedians, and put them in what we call a showcase round. 10 comedians will compete over a 2-weekend period. You only compete one time. Each of those showcases will pick 5 comedians to go to the semifinals. Now, in the semifinal rounds, each semifinal round will be closed by a professional comedian.
Okay.
For instance, we got Dennis Reagan coming in.
Oh, wow.
Roz G, Lynn Koplitz.
Oh, wow. You've
Just
got
to
some
name a
huge
few.
people. Yeah.
Now, not only that, now, let's say Friday night, you come in, you compete against 5 people, and you win that contest for that night to go to the finals. You're going to open up Saturday night for that comedian the next day.
Oh.
Wow, it's a lot of exposure.
So-
That's wonderful.
So you know what it is? It's not just about the money. It's also giving the community, the local comedian, stage time.
Mm-hmm.
Putting them in front of a professional show where they don't have to bring 5 people and be able to perform in front of live audiences and practice their craft. It's an amazing opportunity.
Well, we were kind of talking to the guy that before. I mean, I always say, like, depending on the contest, it depends on who the contest producer, like where their heart lies. And it sounds like you really do love the craft of comedy, and you're doing this for the comedians rather than.
Well, hold on. Let's take one step back. You got to give credit to the Mardi Gras Casino. They're the ones putting up the money.
Yeah.
They're the ones giving us the stage. They're the ones that asked me to put this program together. So the Mardi Gras Casino is who needs to be thanked, because the casino wants to show it's not all about gambling. It's also giving back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And giving back to the community, who do you think are the biggest drinkers and gamblers to begin with? The comedians. We're only giving back to what they've already taken.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
Right? You know how many comedians actually get out of the casino without spending money?
I wouldn't.
Not many.
I would.
You would.
I'm telling you, they end up in the poker room.
Yeah.
I would get out of the casino without gambling, but I would not get out of the casino sober. So.
Well, you're not going to win then. We're watching. I'm telling you, the guys that are spending the money in the casino. Who do you think we're going to give the check to? No, I'm just kidding. But let me just tell you, this is not a comedy contest. This is a comedy challenge. Understand that. This is your challenge is to be the opening act for Caroline Ray. So we have people coming in there, going with the F-bomb, and they're opening up for Paula Pound. So that kind of act is not going to win. They're not meeting the challenge.
Yeah.
That's what they got to understand. This is a challenge. Anybody could win. We had a local comedian from Miami won last year. He took his $5,000 check, opened up a cigar store, and retired from comedy.
Really?
They haven't heard from him since.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Well, that's kind of fun.
Now he's telling jokes to guys in the cigar store. But he was a local comedian.
Huh.
Last year, people said, there's no way you're giving away $5,000. But just ask Jamal Hodder. Jamal is sitting at a cigar store, smoking a stogie, counting his money.
Good for him.
The point is, anybody could win.
Yeah.
And it's not like some of the other contests, I'm not going to mention names, that put ringers in their contest to make sure that nobody has an opportunity to win.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's interesting that you put the portion of the show where you're saying like these are like the 8 finalists or whatever, and then you vote online, because then it really does sort of get people who have a following to be supported by their
sorry.
following.
You know what? I didn't address that. The online voting is for the last place in the final round. Each semifinal round, one person will be selected to go to the finals. The people that don't make the finals, your friends and family will be able to vote on Facebook or online on the Mardi Gras website to vote for you. The person with the most votes will go to the finals.
Oh, okay. So the online is just for one place. You're just voting
Only
for one
for that
place.
we call it a wild card vote.
Oh, like
It's
a
not
PA
for
can vote.
all the comedians. We're going to have professional bookers there as the judges. So there's an opportunity also, if you don't win the contest, to be booked locally by comedy clubs or condos or even theaters.
Oh,
That's great. That's more great opportunity.
So one wild card will be given up from the internet voting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds actually like a really fair contest, Randy. I mean, so sometimes contests can be maybe not so fair, but I mean, it sounds like you're doing everything right. You're trying to be objective as well as sweetening the pot, so you get the folks who know how to tell jokes interested in competing, especially if you've got the bookers there. That's really good.
Yeah.
Well, those are our judges, and these are people that book every single day. Again, we're not trying to fix this contest like some of the other places. We're not offering a $300 first prize. There's $5,000 at stake.
Yeah.
Take it seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
If this is what you want to do for a living, and this is your calling, get out there, meet that challenge, and take home that check. It's not that difficult. You might be performing on 4 nights to get to that opportunity to take home that $5,000.
That's wonderful.
Now, for anyone listening out there in Webland, how do you get the ball rolling? And what are the dates of these contests?
Well, they could fill out an application online at www.mardigras.casino.fl.com and
Okay.
do the audition form, or they could just come in on the open auditions, and we will give whatever slots are available, first come, first served basis, on Friday, September 7th between 10 and 2 p.m., and Saturday, September 8th between 10 and 2 p.m.
Okay, you say
The contest is open for anybody.
online auditions. You mean like send a video clip of you at a?
Oh, no, I apologize. No online auditions. What I mean is to submit your registration form. You can submit your
okay.
registration form online. You still
okay.
need to show up for the audition.
Okay, so you would basically, almost like American Idol, you basically be doing your act, but you wouldn't be doing it to a crowd or just a few people.
No, there's going to be 2 or 3 judges, and I'll be one of the judges. And I'm just going to let you know what we're looking for. We're looking for stage presence,
Okay.
the ability to handle yourself on a stage,
Okay.
and your delivery. To hear if your humor is original. We had a guy come on last year. He thought he was hysterical. But every joke he did was from the internet. He says, well, they loved me at the improv open mic. I said, yeah, because all your friends were there.
Yeah.
This is not your friends. This is a serious contest with
Yeah.
serious money.
Got to be original.
Yeah.
Be original.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. We're looking for somebody original. We're looking for somebody that writes his own humor. We're looking for somebody that's got the stage presence and the delivery. Come on. We're putting in a stage in front of 2,000 to 3,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're representing the Mardi Gras Casino.
Well, and then when you have people like you sort of judging and filtering out before you get on the big stage, then like you know enough about comedy to know if it's like an internet joke or if it's an actual someone else's material. As far as like, I went to a place a couple of weeks ago and someone was doing a Steve Byrne set, and maybe if you don't know about comedy you wouldn't know it was there, but all the comedians were like, oh, that's Steve Byrne's set. So I understand why you're filtering it.
The only thing I'm going to be watching are the auditions.
Mm-hmm.
All the professional shows will be done by the bookers and the club owners. I'm only going to sit there and watch the auditions just to see to pick out the 40 to go on to the showcase rounds. And then from there, the bookers will decide who goes to the semifinals and the finals.
So is it judged based on the bookers alone, or do they take consideration like the audience, or do the judges kind of figure out who's the winners?
The judges are looking for 3 things. They're looking for originality. And come on, sometimes the judges may not go on the internet and recognize a joke being somebody else's, but they are looking for originality, stage presence, and audience reaction.
Okay.
Yep.
So those are the things they're being judged on.
Okay.
That's very
So,
fair.
That is fair.
and they're going to lose points. Even if they're the funniest comedians, and let's say they come in jeans and flip-flops and a T-shirt with holes in it, they may not get all the points they need to go to the next round.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And
Yeah.
Remember, it's a challenge. It's not just about the funny. It's about the guy that performs the best.
Mm-hmm.
The one that gets up there and looks the best, and his delivery is the best.
Absolutely.
It's the whole package.
Because that's the person that's going to go far in comedy.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that actually, I think I'm going to go register. That sounds very fair, Randy. More so than I said. That sounds very fair. I mean, more so than other contests. But I mean, you can't. I mean, every contest is a little bit different. But I mean, it sounds like you're being as objective as you possibly can, and something as subjective as comedy.
listen, you know the comedy scene down here. I could go to your area. I could see Long Island Mary perform at 3 or 4 different clubs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing in bookers that have not seen these people before.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not judgmental.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's not like they say, oh, I've seen this comic 9 times, and they could start repeating their bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fresh pair of
So,
ears.
Right, we got fresh bookers and judges that haven't seen, and that's what they're looking for. So anybody could really win this contest. And even if you're funny, sharpen up the rest of your act.
Mm-hmm.
Sharpen up the delivery. Work on your delivery. Work on your stage presence. I had one woman come in and yell at me and said, my brother was so funny in the audition. I said, but yet he couldn't hold a microphone, and he couldn't speak into the mic. So if I put him on a professional show, the audience would never understand what he's talking about.
Yeah, because he doesn't know just even like stage presence 101 or like how to
Mechanics.
Yeah, mechanics. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Well,
Right, there's a lot more than comedy than just telling a joke. You know that.
oh, absolutely.
It's about stage presence. It's about delivery. It's about timing.
Now, how long is the contest in general gonna go on? I mean, is it from the auditions to the actual night of the contest?
It'll start in September,
Mm-hmm.
7th and 8th, and the final show runs November 3rd.
Okay. So we've got about like a good 6 weeks of following the Mardi Gras comedy contest.
And we can get all the information at mardigras.casinofl.com, right, Randy? That's where we can find all our details.
All the information you need,
Wonderful.
all the comedians that are performing, all the times, dates, registration forms,
And tickets to
everything you need to take home that check is available for you on that website.
Okay. Alrighty. Well,
And I do love comedy. I do perform myself, so I enjoy being in the back of the scenes as much, producing and promoting these contests.
well, I think you have to have a love for it. I mean, it's such a wacky world, and there's not like a whole lot of money until you get like Chris Rock famous. So you have to love it. You absolutely have to love it.
Well, $5,000 is a lot of money.
$5,000.
For a comedian.
Yeah.
You know how much crack? They could buy with that? They could go on a binge for at least 2 weeks. Some of the guys I know.
That's beautiful.
Crack for 2 weeks. Well, thank you very
Not
much.
that I'm promoting. I'd rather them spend the money in the casino. That way, if we get enough money back, we could do this again next year.
Or open a cigar bar and leave a little competition for the rest of us to take a few slots. Well, Randy, thank you so much for calling in. I probably am going to register for your contest.
I already did.
You already did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Long Island Mary's going.
So are you two both in the contest this year?
I'm definitely doing it. I'm Long Island Mary, and I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Okay. Well,
Well, you already count. Don't make the same mistake a lot of people do. Don't count the money and spend it before you audition.
I was
I'm
already
just
spent.
telling you. So many people come in the audition, they didn't make it. Oh my God, I spent the $5,000 already. It's not my fault.
That's great.
all right.
So
Thank you,
pace
Randy.
yourself. I'm warning you.
We'll be good. Thank you, Randy.
All righty. Thank you so much, Randy. And maybe I'll have you call back in a few weeks to once the contest starts to see where the people are at and who's not winning, but who's what am I trying to say? Who's placing?
Who's moving up in
Yeah,
the competition? Who's moving forward?
Moving forward.
Well, I got. You know what? We're also going to be running bets downstairs. I didn't tell you this, but Long Island Mary is like 4-1 right now.
Yeah,
that's not
she's
bad.
she's got some good odds, so that's good stuff.
I thought I was a long shot.
She's not the long shot yet.
I will be. Where do you see me?
Just sandbag in the audition. That's what I advise. Sandbag so you come in the showcase strong.
I will.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, Randy, for calling in.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks for having
Randy.
me.
Take
We'll
care.
see you guys soon.
You got
Okay.
it. Bye-bye.
All righty. Well, this was fun talking about comedy contest and being objective in a subjective world.
Thank you for having me, Robin Savage.
Thank you for being here. You have a standing invitation to be my co-host to whatever the analogies are saying, to be the paunch to my John, to be the Starsky to my Hutch. So anytime you want to,
Ethel to your Lucy.
Ethel to your Lucy. Maybe you, me, and Shar can I'll do a show.
Thelma,
onto-
Louise, and Blanche.
All righty. I got people in the booth telling me it's time for me to go. So thank you guys very much. Tune in next Tuesday for the Quirky Bird Show here on theartsradio.com.